As people know me, I will drive that thing till it blows up. Um, anyway, so I want to start off by saying, people always ask me about my sleep schedule. I'm crazy, get sleep. But people don't realize, on most of our convoys where, that's just a group of vehicles driving together to get to other places in Iraq to deliver stuff, to if it was patrolling, either or. A lot of times we'd leave, around anywhere from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. We would drive from 2 hours away, 4 hours away, 12 hours straight. Um, so our adrenaline was spiked at that time, and I don't know. I mean, I think I'm stuck in that area still where the nights are just kind of, when I wake up, and the days to me are just kind of like yuck, like depressing to me. Um, those were tough. The tough times were during the day. The nighttime was the scariest for the most part because at the time we'd risk a lot driving overnight more than we would during the day. So we did both, but the second deployment when I got hit was the one that we did a lot of night driving. And I could go on. I have so many stories about driving. A few just stick in my mind that will never leave. But what I'll talk about a little bit, actually, what was going through my mind. I get a little anxious even talking about it or bringing it up because I don't really talk about it at all. So I'm kind of gonna wing it and kind of look in my brain and see what I remember. Because I don't, like I said, I kind of block it out. For the first, 5 or 6 years, I never remembered the anniversary. I didn't want to. I blocked it out. But now, every year I do remember it. And I talk about it a little bit more, I guess. I don't know if I talk about it. Well, I bring it up on a social media post and, just say, happy to be alive. I've had some very dark moments after that. And I still have some dark moments. But, it's one of those things. What you gotta say is just gotta go forward and focus on positivity. And, that's why I hope veterans listen to this, or, this is why I really want to do it. It's important to get out, kind of explain myself a little bit more and why I am how I am. Not like an excuse, it's just how I am. So it was June 6, 2006. 666, very, very interesting, huh? I don't know, it's a different kind of night. It just, I don't know, it was the same thing we would do, but there was something about it that just didn't feel right. I don't know, it felt like it was gonna be an active night. I don't know how many hours into this we were, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. We were pulling up, and we pulled up, I believe, to an Army convoy. They got hit by an IED. So I remember, I don't know if they'd evacuate somebody, or if they just, if it was just everyone was okay. I don't remember that, but I do remember Army convoy got hit. That was going in front of us. So we had to keep our distance. We waited for all their stuff to get cleared out, and they took off. Now, there was a big bomb in the middle of the road, explosion in the middle of the road, so there was no concrete. You just couldn't, it was just rubble, so we couldn't drive over it. So we had, all of us had to veer off to the left. That was just the way we were going, into dirt, dust, whatever, that's what we did. But it was on the shoulder. And usually on the shoulder, that's when you get hit, because you look for tires, you look for anything. They put bombs in dead animals, anything on the side of the road. To this day, when I drive, I still look on the side of the road. It's very, very interesting. But there's a lot I could get into that, but this is just explain this real quick. So I remember we were like the 14th, 13th vehicle, and a whole convoy passed us, okay, doing the same thing, going to the left. They were okay. So we had 12 vehicles go, and then we were the 13th or 14th, either or, and we veered off to the left, and we hit a I think it was a double stack landmine underneath, which is crazy again because you see all these vehicles go down the same path. All we did was go to the left by an extra, what, foot, half a foot? You know, who knows? So, I'm trying to remember as good as I could here. At first, we saw a bright light. We saw just all of a sudden just dust, smoke, dust mainly, and then we kind of heard the explosion. That's what we recall how it happened, but it was all very fast. So everything got silent as we were drifting. We kept driving, and we were on a road, and there was like an underpass, I would say, under us, not by much at all. I don't know, a few feet or something. I don't know. It was feet, though. You know, so when we veered off, or no, the bomb blew off our whole tire, blew off our tire hub, took off everything, destroyed the front side, and we were in like it was a LVS. It was like a semi, basically, sort of, you know. Luckily in 2006 we had armor. 2005 I don't believe we had as much armor, or we were getting it, I don't remember, but we had armor underneath, which had to have saved us, or for whatever reason. But so after we saw that, we started drifting to the left, and you could just feel us leaning, and then we fell off like the ditch. So we went off, and then we fell. And it was really weird because it felt like we landed on like a pillow, like someone caught us or something very weird. Now, at that moment, everything got still. We were both on our left. The doors to the right of me. No way I was getting that door open with all that armor. I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands of pounds. I don't care how much you leg press, you can't get that off you just because of the pressure that's coming back down. So at that point, you know, just thinking about it now, I don't understand how I made it through there. Just the claustrophobic. The trucks we were in were so small. There was a center console, and then the driver was like right here, and we had all our gear on. So we were smashed to begin with, and asking me why I don't like tight spaces. Well, here's the reason why, like crowding. So we were on the side of the vehicle. Our vehicle wouldn't shut off, and I was a corporal. He was a lance corporal. I was asking him. I was like, "Yo, are you good? Are you all right?" And I swear we just asked each other that like for a minute straight. And we thought we were bleeding. We didn't know, but because we were soaked. So we didn't know what the hell was going on. And then I'm like, all right, we don't know what that is. We couldn't see if it was blood. We couldn't see any of that. And then I remember I started taking off my gear because I'm like, hey, it's hot. I'm like, I don't want to have a hyperventilate in this place. I'm like, it's already horrific. There's nowhere to breathe. There's no windows. It's just a plexiglass protection. And it was just nothing but, you just saw smoke. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But so we just kept communicating with each other. That's all we had. We had no radio. But obviously everybody on our team was awesome, and they flew as fast as they can, but it seemed like it was at half an hour, which it was probably a minute, if that, or 2 minutes. So we were thinking our truck's gonna explode because our truck wouldn't shut off, and you know, it was leaking fuel, oil, everything. You know, we were afraid we were gonna burn alive. In that point, and in my mind, at that time, I was thinking of my nephew Tyler. He was the firstborn. I don't know why that popped in my head, but I was like, I'm never gonna see him again, and I just met him, and I just remember thinking that was in my head the whole time, or that was something that popped in my mind. Other than that, my mind was blank. I'm like, we gotta, you know, let's see what happens here. And like I said, we kept communicating, and I saw one of my guys come up and look at us. He looked like he saw a ghost. He was terrified, but I remember we gave him a thumbs up. I'm like, let's go. So I just remember so many people arriving real quick, the military police and guys that, you know, I think it was Gonzalez and I want to say Calhoun. Yeah, they were right behind us, or they were in front of us or something. I think they were in front of us. And those two guys live here. They're my friends to this day, but they live in Illinois too. You know, it's just we all been through that shit together. So. I remember a lot of people just pulling open this door, multiple people pulling up this door, and a few guys just grabbed me by I think I put my flak jacket back on. They just grabbed me by it and like flung me out. I ran out of the vehicle. Then I ran back to the vehicle to see if Bert was okay. And what it was, we weren't bleeding, it was water, because our water bottles just exploded in our truck. And after that, it was kind of complete shock and, you know, look at our eyes type stuff. But that's not the point of that. And that's how it was. That was a very quick moment of part of my journey in Iraq. But that's what was going through my head. Other than, you know, this is how you're dying. This is it. You know. So that was going through our minds, but the nephew thing really stuck in my head, and you know, I was just happy to hear that the driver was alive and he was okay and talking to me. So you know, the driving upsets me to this day. It's not just road rage. It's just, I don't like driving that much, but you know, I do it because I have to. And you know, you got to get over it eventually, and maybe I will. But it was I feel lucky that someone was watching over both of us, because we shouldn't be here. It was a double stack, like I said, landmine, and people said it was a fireball, like 20, 30, or whatever, just 50 feet in the air or something. I don't know. They thought that was it. They thought it was it. And they weren't the only ones that thought it was it. But I take that experience, and instead of diving into drugs and alcohol, I'm just happy I found jiu-jitsu or something to get my mind off of this. And this was the second deployment, so I was still getting over the first deployment 7 months ago. We didn't have time to transition. So, you know, that's just what we did. That was my job at the time, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to teach what I love. And I can't believe where I'm at right now. But again, you know, you still have your dark days, and it's just, that's what life is, and you got to take it for what it is, and try to help people out. I think, you know, and do the best from experience, and do what's best for people. What I think in my mind, and so that's what I truly love. But hopefully you enjoyed it, but I will continue to talk about the certain stuff, try to do something about the military once a week, but thanks for listening.